Okay, this is 4.2 relation, so go ahead and title your composition book with that title. Okay, and I just want to tell you real quick what a relation is, because you're probably thinking, that's the first part of relationship, I don't know what that means. Well, in math, a relation is a set of ordered pairs. Those set of ordered pairs can be represented in a bunch of different ways. For example, we can have a table. We can have a mapping, which is what this looks like. It might be new, but it's okay. And then we can also have a graph, or this set of ordered pairs. This is also a relation. So in this first example problem, we are trying to represent the relation 5, 2, 3, -1, 6, 2, and 1, 7 as a table, as a map, and as a graph. Okay, so that's it. Go ahead and copy these tables in the map down, and then we'll fill in the numbers. So if I have these ordered pairs, I personally like to put my x's in order, and then whatever their y pair is, I leave it like that. You don't have to do that. It's not wrong if you don't put them in order, but I'm going to, just so you know. So -5 is the smallest, so I'm writing it first, and then that pairs with 2, 1, 7, 3, -1, and 6, 2. So all I did here is I separated, remember the first number in an ordered pair is your x value, and the second number in an ordered pair is your y. So I just split each ordered pair into x in an x column and in a y column. And that's it. So that's your table. Mapping is very similar to a table, but instead of a box with rectangles, we have 2 ovals, as you can see. So go ahead and copy these blank ovals in your composition book. Make sure you have room to write inside them, because we will be writing. And you'll always want an x on top and a y on top of the right circle. So x goes with the left and y goes with the right. And I'm just going to copy these numbers into my x column from my x table, okay? So -5, 1, 3, and 6. Okay, now what I could do is I could also just copy straight down from my y column in my table. So I'm going to do that. 2, 7, -1, 2. Now, the thing with mapping is you need to know which x coordinate is going with which y coordinate. So the 5 goes with the 2, so we have to draw an arrow. And the 1 goes to the 7, so we draw an arrow from the 1 to the 7. The 3 goes with the -1. The 6 goes with the 2. That's pretty much it for the mapping, but I will say one thing. Since we have 2 of the same y value, we don't really need to write it twice. We really just write it once. So I'm going to take off this 2 because I don't need it. And instead, I'm going to draw an arrow all the way up to this 2 from the 6. So this is what you typically see in a mapping, and this is the way I would really like you guys to do your mappings in this class. So just write, if there's only one y value, if there's one y value that gets repeated, just write it once and put 2 arrows going towards it with whichever its pair is. Okay, I'm about to transition and you'll see a graph. I don't have room for it up here, quite the unfortunate. So make sure you have these 2 things down. And hey, I'm back and I have a graph. So again, still 4.2 relations. Now you can probably see the title, which is helpful. And this is the last part of the problem that we just did. We have to make a graph using this set of ordered pairs. Okay, so I would just start from left to right and graph each point. So we have -5, 2, and again, remember that first value is the x, and the second value is the y. So since I have a -5 and it's on the x-axis, I'm going to the left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have to go up 2 on the y. 1, 2. So please go ahead and graph this with me with the coordinate plane that you have already in your notebook. And you don't have to write what the point is next to it, but I like to just because it helps me. I know I can see which point I did, and I can check my answer later. Okay? And then I have 3, -1. So again, write 3, and I go down 1 because the y is negative. Okay? Did that one. 6, 2, to the right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up 2. 1, 2. So that is 6, 2. And 1, 7. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, it's as simple as that. But just please double check your answers on these whenever you're graphing. You know how to graph. I know you know how to graph. But often we just make a silly mistake just by not looking. So if you were asked to graph the relation, this is all you would need to do. This is your practice problem for tonight. You need to represent the relation, these 4 sets of ordered pairs, as a table, graph, and mapping. You can use your coordinate plane that was provided to you for the graph, and you can just create your own table and mapping. Please turn in your practice problems, take a picture, and submit them to Edmodo.